The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Burkeen, brought to you by Harvey Autos in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you've trusted for years. Geico, the insurance savings you expect. Supreme Chevrolet, expect more from Supreme Automotive Group and Gonzalez. Total Car Care, tire shop and automotive repair in Baton Rouge. Bollinger Shipyards, 75 years of delivering high-quality vessels. Here's your host, Lee Burkeen.
Hi everyone, Lee Burkeen back. We're at Parkview Baptist High School. We're in the coach's room. Danny Smith will be joining us. Stefan will be joining us, the head football coach. We might even get the head soccer coach. But before then, we have the best soccer player in the state of Louisiana, the best female soccer player. She's only a junior. And yes, her brother is Abram Johnston. And we have Faith Johnston. Faith,
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Just so people don't get confused and Lee kind of recap, her mom, Abram's mom, the quarterback, same family, is in the Stanford Hall of Fame as a swimmer. And they started the first swim schools in Louisiana, is that correct?
Yes, sir, Crawfish Aquatics.
And I was studying that was the first ones to ever come into the state. And Faith is Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore in soccer for Louisiana. This year you said you're going to be sitting out?
Yes, sir.
You have a
ACL injury, but I will be playing my senior year.
It's coming along pretty good?
Yes, sir, it is.
So tell me how the Gatorade Player of the Year works for soccer. How does that come about, and when did you learn that?
Well, I learned it a couple months ago, and it comes about by a couple coaches in Louisiana, like choosing who they thought stood out the most during the games. And, I had the opportunity to play last year, and I was grateful enough that they chose me.
You're a striker,
Yes,
so that's
sir.
a forward in soccer, she told me. What do you think the best programs are in the state outside of Parkview Baptist? Y'all won state champs last year.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Well, St. Michael's, Hannon, let's see who else. There's a lot of teams up north are really good in Louisiana.
Some probably in New Orleans, I would think.
Yes, sir.
What is your strength in soccer? I mean, I know being Gatorade Player of the Year, you gotta be really good. So,
Well, I like to think that I'm good at shooting, which is, I think, one of my strengths. Another one is that I'm really good tactically, and I work really well with my sister, who I got to play with last year.
talk about the game, because you mentioned it off air, and I'm honest. I'm not an expert with soccer. I'm a football, baseball, basketball, but I want to help the sport. What do you think people miss on soccer? I mean, the World Games, everybody tunes in, but they forget we have high school, college soccer.
Right. Well, especially on like the women's side of soccer, I think that is the most physical women's sport that we can play, because like we are just so aggressive. We know how to pass, and we make combinations that if you don't understand soccer, it might be hard to think, oh, that's actually hard to do, but it is difficult. But no, we just have a different kind of aggression that a lot of sports don't have, especially on the women's side. We are very like just hardcore. And,
Yeah.
But yeah.
How long is a field?
100, I think.
The first thing I think about, and I'm not a soccer expert, but you're running constantly.
Yes, sir.
And people don't realize that.
No.
It's hard to run, for like
45 minutes.
45 minutes and not
Twice.
stop
Yeah.
and then defend?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're constantly running and changing direction.
What is the gift to allow someone to control the ball with your legs and then go down and score? I mean, it looks easy on TV.
Right.
But when someone's controlling a soccer ball and you're having to go through people, and then you got a goalie that's pretty good.
Yes, sir. No,
What's the key in the what do you think's the key to get the goalie? I mean, the goalies now, I mean, they're pretty good.
Right, no, they're pretty good. The hardest part is honestly just keeping the ball close to your feet and driving down the field. But the easiest way to do that is obviously using your teammates, passing around them, and then when you're in front of the goalie, just make a decision to go. Honestly, bottom corners are easiest.
You and your sister, I mean, help each other growing up in soccer?
Yes, sir, we did.
Push each other?
Yes, no, we trained together. We have usually been on the same team for a couple years. We really do push each other. She helps me during training. I help her during training. We're aggressive. Yes, sir.
Abram, what do you think of your brother and what he's doing at quarterback for the school?
I mean, he's a good quarterback.
This is soccer time, right? Talk about your coach before we go. Brag on your coach and what has she been to you in the program with being your head coach?
Well, Coach Rafi, he is a great high school coach. He really helps us be better soccer athletes, but also a better person, which is most important for the school. Last year, he obviously did a great job in training us and preparing us for state. He's very good with knowing the game, and so he knows where to place his players to have the best effect on the team. But yes, sir.
Tell everybody when soccer starts so they'll know to come support you.
Yes, November. Early November.
Early November. Be sure to call the high schools, get the scheduling. It's weird times sometimes, right? Y'all might play during the day, in the mornings.
Yes, sir. It honestly really depends.
Weekends, during the week.
Weekends, weekdays.
I got to ask you this before we go. You major for college. I know you got another 2 years left in high school.
Yes. What's the major I want to be in?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think some sort of biopsychology or biology. I want to go to PA school after.
If it was up to you, I asked your brother Abram this. If it was up to you, 2 colleges you love.
NC State and Dayton.
A lot of soccer behind that too?
Yes, sir.
I have no clue how good Dayton is in soccer or NC State, but I'll take it. They're very good. You're the Gatorade Player of the Year in Louisiana. Appreciate you joining us, Faith.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And that was Faith Johnston, top soccer player in the state, only a junior, and has another year after this, Gatorade Player of the Year. We'll be right back.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back. Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free on our show. Catch the show, help us grow. We're at Parkview Baptist, and we got a treat. I didn't know we were going to get these 2 coaches, but I still have a baseball coach to interview, Philip Hawk, who's the boys' baseball coach here at Parkview Baptist. But next, we've got the girls' soccer head coach, and it's a joy, and I've been able to talk to him and meet him today, first time. Ralphie Nunes.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We talked about that you're from Brazil.
I'm from, yes.
And I was going to ask you, like, how did you get to Baton Rouge? You're like, your wife, right?
Yeah.
But a little bit about Ralphie. He was a pro player at one time. Obviously played soccer from Brazil. Is the soccer coach here at Parkview Baptist girls soccer. And you got a few good players here.
Yeah, we have a good squad. We're losing a lot of players this year, losing 6 starters, but our juniors and sophomore and freshmen, we have a really good squad. No seniors, but our squad is very, very good. Coming up, it's going to be a challenge just adapting, but we got some really, really good players.
Being that you're from Brazil, how do you like Louisiana?
I actually really like the food here. Seasoning, it's very similar to Brazil, so I enjoy a lot. The only thing I don't like in Louisiana is the heat. This heat this year was
humid.
It was.
I didn't like it either. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, I don't think anybody likes 110 every day.
No.
We used to 190, 95, but 110 for like what 60 days?
Yeah, a long time.
And soccer.
And it's unbelievable.
Not a good mix.
No, not a good mix. Playing on the turf with 110 degrees it's difficult. It's difficult.
Tell everybody, Rafi, what about soccer? Because we're in Louisiana where we're not, on the cup of like Brazil or some of these other states in the United States. We're still trying to learn the college game. We're still, like me, the pro game. Mm-hmm. Some of us watch international games. Some of us just watch if their kids are playing. But, I see soccer fields being built every day.
Yeah.
In the last 15 years, I've noticed it's been an explosion here. Mm-hmm. But like me in sports, I'm in the media. I don't know a lot about soccer. But the average person that might watch this that likes football says, well, what is soccer outside of a goalie, a striker, a forward? How do you get involved? And tell people if they want to get their kids involved and they're young, what's the best age to start playing soccer?
Well, the best age is 3 years old. If
wow.
You're 3 years old,
3?
Get your kid involved in the soccer program. At that age is just about being familiar with the soccer ball, running around, changing directions. it's just about having fun. When you get to 5 years old, you start with real soccer practice. Baton Rouge has a big program. The biggest club in the state is actually in Baton Rouge. That club has over 26 soccer fields there, and soccer is actually growing a lot in Louisiana. We don't have a professional team here, but we have a semi-professional team here. And
Tell everybody where you played when you were playing pro ball. What's the name?
In Cruzeiro, Brazil. I played in the youth academy of Cruzeiro, which is it was the biggest club on last century in Brazil.
Okay.
Division 1 in Brazil. I played as a goalkeeper, started as a goalkeeper, and then I moved to another club, which was America, and also in Brazil, and I played as striker then.
Okay. The only thing I know about soccer is I got some friends that like to watch the international games when it gets to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I know Argentina's good. I know Brazil's good.
Yeah, Brazil's
And then
good.
the Brits always have a good team. But it seems like Argentina or Brazil are like the key. And you're from Brazil.
Yeah, I'm from Brazil.
But you said never put Argentina one because
Yeah, no,
even though they're one right now.
well, it's debatable.
Right. For this week.
This week
This
is
week, yeah.
the number one. Yeah, Brazil and Argentina are big rivals.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Brazil in Brazil, soccer is a religion.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
When we have soccer games and World Cup, everything stops. Grocery store, banks closed, schools closed.
It's like football here.
Everything closed.
It's bigger than football.
Yes,
here.
yes. The only things that are going to be open are restaurants, because the people go there to eat. But it's a religion, and if you lose, then it's a nightmare. So.
Let me ask you this, Rafi Nunez. We have the soccer girls coach here with us from Parkview Baptist. Is there a country that's really made a big jump? I know the U.S. is better, but is there a country that's like really come a long way in soccer on the national scale? Like, is there we all know that where you're from, Brazil, Argentina, the English are real good, but is there a country that's really come on?
So France, for the past few years, are getting better and better. And what is happening with France is players from different parts of the world are going to France and getting the citizenship in France because it's easier there. So that country is becoming bigger and bigger. Right now, they're sitting as number 2 in the world. So
Wow. So competitive. I thought golf had too many good golfers, but, it's amazing the fans in the crowds. Some of them say 300,000 at some of these World Cup games. Football only gets 102,000, I think, at a game.
Yeah.
But 300,000 people?
Some stadiums, yeah. Very few, but some stadiums for World Cup, they make it really big. So
Unbelievable. I'm glad I was able to bring you on. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
Congrats on your state championship this past year in soccer.
Thank you very
I know
much.
you're going to be trying to win another one this year.
Again, back to back.
Back to back at Parkview Baptist. We'll be right back. We got one more coach to join us. Philip Hawk, the head baseball coach at Parkview Baptist. They have a very talented squad coming back for baseball this coming year. I remember watching Philip play at Woodlawn High School back in the day. He was a very good offensive lineman. He played D-line too back in the day. That's when Woodlawn played everybody, both sides of the football. We'll be right back.
Supreme Chevrolet. Expect more from Supreme Automotive Group in Gonzales. Total Car Care. Tire shop and automotive repair in Baton Rouge.
Welcome back. I think we've interviewed just about almost every coach here today at Parkview Baptist, but we've got one more special guest. I'm glad we're able to get him. He walked in, head baseball coach, Philip Hawk, Parkview Baptist.
Thank you for having me.
Philip, I'm getting at that age where I'm older than dirt, and I remember you playing high school football.
Absolutely.
I knew you played baseball too at Woodlawn. But you were a pretty good lineman at Woodlawn back
Played under Coach,
Mook,
Coach
huh?
Mook for a year, and then that was my sophomore year, and then Benny Saya came in.
Benny.
Running the old power eye and really relying on us linemen.
Energizer Bunny Benny. Back
Oh,
then,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then Drew Nettles was my
Drew,
baseball
yeah,
coach. So
yeah.
some great men that really helped mold me as a young guy
Yeah.
coming up now into
Drew was pretty good in
professional.
baseball too
Oh, yeah.
at Southeastern.
And he's over at Zachary now.
Right,
He's still
right.
doing his thing. So it's always good to see him out there because he had such a big impact for me and who I was.
He's had some good receivers at Zachary, Chris Hilton and a few other guys come out of
The
there.
abundance of riches over there,
Yeah.
it seems to be.
Your 9th year at the school here, 3rd year as a head coach.
Yes, sir.
I want to mention this because if you don't know baseball, 12 state championships here at Parkview. 12. I mean, that's when you run out of room and you're on the wall or outside. I mean, that's
If you go in our clubhouse, we've got
12.
We've got 13 balls on the wall. We have one with a blank on it, and we keep telling our guys it's their job to fill it up so that we have to fix the graphic.
good pressure to have.
You know what? When you come into a program, you have an expectation of winning,
Yeah.
and setting the standard as high as possible for these guys, and they relish it. And we work hard every year, and we've fallen short the last few years. We really like what we have, though.
ML Woodruff did a heck of a job here, didn't he?
ML's been such a big factor for me in my life, just as a young guy growing up and have a chance to be around him. So now having the opportunity to follow in his footsteps of what he built, to me, that is the biggest and most important thing that I have to do is maintain the culture that he built here.
Blake Johnston was pretty good that came out of here.
Blake Johnston was a freak. They had a lot of those that came through here.
6'5", 6'4", bunch of those types.
Bunch of those kind of guys.
Russell Reynolds.
Then you had the
LSU.
Alex Bios of the world. Even more recently, you had Daniel Cabrera who came through. Josh Green, who's been right there in the AA, AAA ranks. I mean, if you look at the early 2000s and the late 90s and the dynasty that they built here and some of the names that came through this program, we have a lot to live up to each and every year.
If you don't follow baseball, Blake Johnston was a 6'5" pitcher out of high school, signed with LSU, went pro, went high, stayed in the minors a long time. Coach, talk about your team. The word on the street is, before I even talk to you today, is that you had a really good junior group, small senior group, but a very talented group coming up.
Yeah.
Talk about some of your top guys that are committed or guys that you know are going to go on and play college ball at any level one day.
So this team's going to run off the leadership of our senior group first off. I've been around a lot of teams, but the X factor for them and the X factor of any great team is leadership at the top.
Right.
These guys want it. They're really hungry. They work. They're very self-motivated, so I don't have to be creative in finding ways to get them to want to work. It starts, obviously, our biggest name guy coming back is Brant Melanson on the mound, a Southeastern commit.
Football guy, too.
He's a football guy as well. Wesley Marion, who was really kind of established himself as an ace. He's another dual sport guy. Then you got Luke Pittman coming off an injury, who was a major impact guy for us, who's a senior on the mound, who has an opportunity to play at the next level if he comes back healthy. Thomas Bonaventure, he's our team captain. He's our starting catcher coming back.
Okay.
But then, like you say, and that's just a couple of guys, but I can mention Jaden Graham and Gavin Laird and some of these guys. They're all leading.
Yeah.
And then that goes into a junior group that is really hungry and talented. You have Cade Durbin coming back, who's got a lot of interest right now.
Is that Chad Durbin's son?
It's Chad Durbin's son.
Oh, man, I remember Chad at Woodlawn.
Yeah.
Went pro out of high school.
16 years in the big leagues,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Cade is a guy who's a really smart, high baseball IQ, as you would expect. Super talented on the mound and at shortstop. Sammy Mitchell's a guy, he ran it up to 87 this past weekend, and we haven't gotten a throwing program yet. He's gonna explode up. You've got Michael Landry, who's the future behind the dish. You've got I'm drawing a blank on some of these guys. We have so much talent down there, and even into our sophomore group with Henry Beckers and Seth DeGeorge, who are going to be major impact guys this year for us as sophomores.
Let me mention this for people that don't follow baseball, just want to keep up with sports. 7-inning games in high school.
Yeah.
People don't realize it. It's not 9-inning games.
No.
7-inning games. I like that, though, because it helps not running that pitcher out there for 9 innings.
Well, you want to be able to protect your arms,
Save
especially
those
young
arms.
arms.
Right.
We don't, we feel like we do a good job taking care of those guys. We're going to have a lot of depth on the mound. That's going to make that even much easier for us, that nobody's going to have to really run their counts up too high. So we should be nice and fresh for the district run and the playoff run.
Philip, how hard is it to see teams that you play every year in the sport of baseball in Louisiana? It's so hard to find 2 dominant pitchers on one team, right?
Yeah, and we used to say you needed 2.5 when it was a one-game system working your way.
Yeah.
Now that you have best out of 3s, you've got to have 4 and 5 arms that can really do it for you. And to me, it gives you the more established true champion versus teams that maybe had that one gun that they could ride all the way.
Is it hard to have 2 catchers? It's a hard position.
It's tough, and it's but you need it too, because the same thing applies to those guys. If they play every game all the time, they're getting beat up. We saw it with Thomas last year in the playoffs. You could tell he had played a lot of innings and he was tired. And we're going to having a good, solid guy that's right there behind him that we can get more opportunities early is going to keep Thomas fresh and going to allow us to have fresh bodies at the end of the year.
Can't wait to see you play Lutcher in a game this coming year.
When I had a chance to match up with those guys game one, we was a guy like Marshall Luke and some of the other talented kids that they have, Quinn Smith. We want to see the best. We feel like, we won 31 games last year with a good schedule. We have a really competitive schedule again this year because we have to see where we're at. We have to challenge these guys.
Coach Philip Hawk, head baseball coach, Parkview Baptist. Got to ask you this before we go.
Please.
Let's have some fun, MLB.
Okay.
It's that time of year.
Okay.
It's postseason. Everybody's been picked to, like, in the playoff 3-game series, and you're going to have this 7-game series. Can the Astros win a third championship?
You got to think so. I mean, there was a time there when they were kind of trying to figure it all out and see could they do it, get over the hump. And now the confidence there. You have great leadership with a guy like Bregman leading the way. I think
Tucker's been a good player for him lately, huh? Tucker, the hitter.
Yeah.
Are you shocked the Yankees are down with Garrett Cole, who's had a good year, by the way, but the Yankees are
you would think with the payroll that those guys can have, they should always be there at the top. But baseball's a funny game.
I'm a Yankees fan.
There you go.
Among Astros fans.
Right.
Tampa Bay's still great right now. Yeah. It looks like the Dodgers are still pretty good.
Dodgers are always going to be there in the hunt.
And the sleeper teams, would it be Toronto? Will it be Minnesota?
Right.
Will those guys ever get over the hump? Baltimore, I mean, those guys are like...
Any of the smaller market teams, they just got to catch fire with some guys.
Did Baltimore make it? Did they make the playoffs?
I haven't even looked yet.
I don't know if they made it. They had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pulling for the Astros to win it because I'm a Bregman fan. And they have a guy, J.P. France, from Tulane that went to Archbishop Shaw that they said couldn't play D1 baseball, Coach. He threw 86 coming out. And I remember LSU didn't offer him. And he goes to Tulane and dominates. And he's not a high 90s guy, but his movement, talking about baseball here, his movement and his pitch, he's got like 4 pitches. Yeah. And he's one of their best pitchers.
Well, we tell our guys, go where you're going to play, go where you're wanted. Yeah. And as long as there's an open door and you can keep climbing up, everybody can get there. I've played the best shortstop I ever played with was a guy who came out of Division III, out of San Diego. It doesn't matter how big you are. That's a beautiful thing about baseball. Yeah. You can be a little guy like Altuve and be one of the greatest players in the game, or you can be a monster like Judge. You just a lot of different types that have success in our game.
And Bregman's not much bigger than me, and he's a 28 home run hitter every year.
Right. Well, some guys are just special like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Philip.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Support Parkview Baptist baseball. I think we got just about every coach that we could get today at the school. I want to thank Stefan LaFleur to allow us to be here. Danny Smith, the AD at Parkview. Thank all the players that we interviewed. There's too many to say right now, but I want to appreciate that. I'm glad we were able to promote Parkview Baptist. There's a lot of great stuff going on here. A lot of state championships in different sports. If you notice, I wanted to add them all up, Coach, but I think it's safe to say, don't quote me, and I don't want any historian to get on me at Parkview, but there's over 40 state championships here, easy.
This place is
combined.
This place is success.
I might be under
embodied.
a little bit.
No, and right now a lot of our girls sports have really taken hold of some things, and football's on the rise. They're doing great things. Yeah. Coach Voigt's doing great things with basketball right now, and I really feel like we're going to be there at the end of baseball. So a lot of good times ahead. We
want to appreciate everybody that's helped us at Total Car Care on Coursey Boulevard. Billy Hebert, thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for sponsoring this show. Go to Total Car Care if you need tires. It's about 1.5 miles from Parkview Baptist on Coursey Boulevard. Thank you for all our sponsors allowing us to do this, going around the state, interviewing coaches all over Louisiana. It's been my dream to do this, and we're going to keep doing it every week. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching the Sports Scouting Report with Lieber King.